bliss and heaven. Oh, it was gorgeousness and gorgeosity made flesh.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a podcast, Orange. We switched it up this time, so I'll be introducing us. My name is Jack Siegel. I am your host, and, well, not to my right, but on the other computer screen and a very far distance away from me is Tom Crescenzo. Hello, Tom.
Yo, what is up, G? How you doing, Jackie boy?
I am good. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Yes,
And
happy Mother's Day, Jack. I know
and to you.
I know you became a mother recently, so I just wanted to wish you a happy Mother's Day. I wanted to make sure
Thank
I
you
got
very
that
much.
out.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Happy Mother's Day to all the MILFs out there, especially.
Ooh, yeah. See, those are the real like best moms in the world. Like
Yeah.
whenever you see those coffee mugs that says like #1 mom, it's really just talking about the MILFs.
Oh yeah, the MILFs are the best types of moms because not only are they raising a child, but you're also like, I'd like to stick my cock in you.
Like it's like, Mom, not only are you a great mom who's supported me and my passion for my whole life, but God, I would just love to titty fuck you. I mean, my God.
It's the best of both worlds right there,
I
having
think
hot mom.
I know we have a topic to get into, but I think it would be kind of funny to just talk about like the idea of like getting your MILF mom something for Mother's Day. And it's just like it's like the world's greatest vibrator or something. Like,
Did you ever have a friend with,
sweetie.
before we get into this, did you have a friend with a MILF mom when you were like back in high school and everything?
Oh, several. See, it's funny because there were some kids who had MILF moms where it was like everybody knew they had a MILF mom. And then there was some where it's like I thought their mom was a MILF, but nobody else did. So I couldn't really
Oh
share
yeah.
the joy with anybody. But like deep down, like I'd go over to these kids' houses and I'd just be like, fuck, God, I wish I could
Yeah.
fuck your mom. But like nobody else knew and nobody even agreed with me.
I had the same thing where I have this one friend. Actually, you met him one time. We were at a party with him, and his mom. Like, I would totally take her to town, and but like nobody else would ever talk about it. I'd be like, "Hey, don't you ever think about fucking this guy's mom?" And everybody's like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, neither did I. I was just kidding." How do I get back from that?
It's like, yo, does anyone else want to rail Jason's mom? It's like, no, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's like, yeah, nothing. Yeah, I would never want to do that. Of course not. No.
I was just joking around. Like, I didn't want to do that.
Oh, I like to think that the song Stacy's Mom was written on Mother's Day.
Yeah. Ah, man. R.I.P. to that guy, Adam
Yeah.
Schlesinger.
He died?
Yeah, the frontman from Fountains of Wayne died of the coronavirus. He was only 51 years old.
Oh, shit. Oh, well, rest in peace,
Yeah,
Adam.
he like a month ago. I remember that, and I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
that sucks." I listened to that song that day. I was like, "Damn, too bad."
poor
Uh,
guy.
anyway, let's bring it up.
Yeah.
Let's cheer it up here. We got a big topic to discuss, so let's get right into it right now, Tom.
Yes,
Tom
I'm
showed me
down.
a hilarious article.
Yes.
You wanna talk about it, Tom?
Sure, I'll introduce it. Basically, I'm sure you've all heard this is, it's been like sort of minor tabloid news, but Adele lost a lot of weight recently and she posted like a photo on social media of her like looking super thin. And like, at first everyone was commenting like the natural thing, like, oh my God, you look so good. It looks great. I can't believe you lost all that weight. Like, good for you. Congrats. Then like, it got on Twitter and half of left-wing Twitter started saying it's disgusting that Adele decided to betray all of her fat fans and transition to being a skinny girl in a time where we need fat role models. And then another part of Twitter was like, well, actually, anybody who's mentioning anything about Adele's weight at all really is the spawn of Satan. And then
Yeah.
it just got to a point where an article was written on the Telegraph. And the title of this article, and honestly, like, I thought it was a joke because I saw the title of this article and I thought, like, this can't be real. It's got to be satire. But it's legitimate. It's an article. It's on the Telegraph. And the title is Why the Photo of a New, Slimmer Adele Makes Women Like Me Feel Uncomfortable.
It has that clickbaity title where it's like if it was satire, it would be brilliantly written satire because it sounds real enough, but it sounds so stupid also where you could totally just not believe that it's real. It's like it hits that sweet spot of like Titanium McGrath level satire where it's like it's really It was really fucking hilarious, the read of this article.
Yeah, it's quite a fun read. What's so enjoyable about it is truly just like how pathological this frame of mind is. Like, here,
Yeah.
let me just read the first couple of like paragraphs. Like, she goes, "I woke up this morning to a stream of messages from my girlfriends on WhatsApp. Usually this means a celebrity has died or someone we haven't seen for the better part of a decade has got engaged." Which, first of all, is like, are those really the only two things that you would ever see a lot of messages on WhatsApp for?
Don't you have your own life or your own thing going on? Like, it's always about celebrities and other people doing
Yeah,
shit, like,
right. Like,
you
maybe
don't
this
have,
is the
like, your own
problem.
hobbies?
Like, I've
Yeah, you
never
need to get a life,
once
lady.
I've never once seen a bunch of messages on my phone and just been like, "Oh, either a celebrity died or maybe Sharon finally got married."
There's nothing going on in my life that would be important to other people, like, it's all
Yeah.
about Adele, and,
Yeah, it's not
like,
like maybe one
fuck
of my
you.
friends has a new job or maybe somebody just wanted to like invite us out. Nope, it's got to be
Yeah,
about celebrities or recent marriages. Those are the only two things.
it's
But
the only thing we
anyway,
ever communicate about.
this is a moot point because there's a lot of shit to sift through here. But anyway, she goes on. She goes, "In the case of these messages, it all started with a picture of a very pretty, slim girl in a short black dress, an unrecognizable Adele, along with dozens of comments. In quotes, 'She looks amazing. She's so beautiful now. I didn't recognize her, but her body is insane. Her cheekbones could cut glass. Good for her. Well
Her
done.'"
cheekbones can cut
Yeah,
glass.
that one's funny. It's like, has anyone ever really said that?
Yeah, that's very somebody would be like, "That's, like, surprisingly poetic thing to say about somebody." That's like a love poem. Her cheekbones could cut glass. That's
Yeah,
not like a
right.
passing comment you say about a celebrity losing weight.
It sounds like
Like,
something Hemingway would write about some chick he wants to fuck. Like,
yeah, exactly.
he's like, "She had
"Oh,
cheekbones
Juliet,
that could cut glass. I just wanted to rub them on my cock." Like,
thou doth a rose by any other name, and her cheekbones could cut glass." Like,
yeah. Like, I've never once been looking at like a photo of like Kate Upton or any girl I thought was hot and said to myself, like, "Damn, that
her
bitch's
cheekbone
cheekbones could cut
yeah,
glass."
exactly. That's the first thing that I think about, with
Yeah,
her.
that turns me on. The cheekbones is what get me going. Some people have foot fetishes. I have a cheekbone fetish.
Yeah.
If it can't cut glass, sorry, baby.
We're
You're
like
gonna
the
have to
Quentin
find it.
Tarantinos of cheekbones.
Exactly.
What the
But she goes, the next thing she says, this author, she says, Adele would probably be receiving slightly less praise if she had found an overnight cure for COVID-19, which, like,
Yeah, of
that's
course.
bullshit. Like,
Yeah, what are you talking about?
you really think
Who
that like a cure for the fucking virus that's ruined all of our lives would go less noticed than her weight loss? Like,
and also, I love how this woman just makes this entire thing like a celebrity overcoming this hard challenge to lose a bunch of weight. She makes this entire thing about herself and how it affects her. Like, what kind of a selfish person are you? Like, can't you, like, be just happy that somebody else did something? Be like, it's all about you and your feelings. It's fucking fuck you.
plus, it's just kind
Like,
of like if the only reason you identified with Adele is because she had a similar body type to you, it's like, what do you really value in humanity? Like, oh,
yeah,
you didn't identify with her because her music spoke to you, or because she's a
no.
really cool person, or she's like smart or creative. No, it's because she's fat, like I am. Like, is that
And
really
that's the
it?
thing is, like, I actually the only thing, like, I know about Adele, is that, like, she's, like, her music is, some of it's actually not that bad, like, in terms of, like, pop shit, but, like, she's got, like, a kick-ass voice. I didn't even, like, remember her being a particularly fat woman or thinking about that.
I mean,
But, like,
I can see why because she's always been sort of bigger, but it's not like Lizzo is like the fat
yeah.
woman's Jesus Christ. It's not Adele. Like, why?
Oh, yeah, because she's always in, like, a bathing suit, and she's always like, "Look how hot I am," like,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lizzo's literally like Adele's like, yeah, I was kind of fat for a while, and Lizzo's like, I will literally crush this table with the weight of my left ass cheek.
Yeah, exactly. She's much more in your face about it, like, you better love this." She'll, like, take your head and shove it in her big fat gut and be like, "You like this, motherfucker?" Get
Right. Like Adele's like, I don't know, like I guess I identify
overweight.
with bigger women, and then Lizzo's like, I will literally devour anybody who fat shames me. I
Actually,
will
quick
literally
side note.
swallow you. My fucking mouth will open like that hole in the ground in Star Wars Episode 6 with teeth on the side and swallow you all.
You'll just be like Boba Fett. Actually, quick side note about Adele before we get in. I remember the first when I first heard of her, I was watching like the VMAs from a bunch of years ago when I was in high school or whatever, or like the MTV Music or whatever, one of those fucking things. And she won an award, and she went on stage and she was complimenting like her other people that she was running against. I think it was like Album of the Year, and she was like, "Congrats to the Jonas Brothers who are really talented." And then she rolled her eyes. I remember like, "Oh, that's pretty funny." Like I was like, "That's like I
Okay,
could
okay. Adele's
I'll
the
fuck with
homie.
that." You
She's
know,
the
yeah,
homie. She's a homie.
I can fuck with her, you know. But anyway, go back to Rebecca Reed's article. That's the name of the author. You
Yeah,
know.
because it's like here's the thing. Like, what really bothers me about this art, it's not that I get it. Like the plight of the fat woman it's really tough in America. It's like
Yeah.
being a fat chick is obviously much harder than being a fat guy.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not that I don't get that, and I get that it probably sucks if you identified with somebody's body and they were famous and they're not fat anymore. But this woman literally says, she goes, I saw the photos and my heart sank. I felt personally affronted, as if Adele had done something to deliberately hurt me.
Yes, it's
It's like,
all about
bitch,
what are you
it's
talking about?
it's literally like, is this really all about you? Like, should Adele, like when Adele was jumping on the treadmill to lose this weight, should she really have been thinking like, oh, but what about all those writers for the Telegraph who are going to be
Yeah.
upset when I'm not fat anymore like they are?
Adele was on the treadmill thinking like, fuck you, Rebecca, this is all for you. Like, I didn't even want to lose weight. I just want to make you feel like shit. Yeah.
Right? It's just like, see, this wasn't about being healthy or any personal wellness for me. I just wanted to know that all of those fat bitches who identified with me know their place now.
Yeah, now I'm not one of you.
It
I'm
was an
better than
attack.
you.
It was a personal attack. Adele is trying to inspire a mass suicide by losing weight.
She was just trying to get all the fat chicks to kill herself. And dude, I totally agree with you. By the way, like I think it is much harder being a fat woman because if you're a fat guy, you can make that like a part of your personality that becomes charming. Like we know certain fat people that their whole thing is like, I'm a big fat guy, and everybody's like, look at this big lovable fat guy, and
Well,
but
yeah.
fat women still, they're just like, ugh, this
I mean, I
fucking.
think that's the thing is like, I'm not even denying that fat women don't have it rough. And I'm not denying that
Oh
fat
yeah,
shaming
never.
is a thing. I'm just saying it's like, if I don't know, if you really only feel validated as a person with your identity because there's celebrities that reflect that identity, like you have a serious problem with the way you view yourself. It's like is it really like that devastating that there's not enough famous people that have your body type? It's like, who cares? Like
Yeah,
these people are barely human beings anyway. Like Adele, she's probably like any other fucking millionaire. She would sell 1 million souls just to buy a new fucking brand of mascara if she could. Like, who cares?
probably
Like what
part
these
of the
people look like.
Illuminati.
Yeah.
You're like identifying with a person who's like controlling our lives as we speak. And also it's just like it seems kind of like because I feel like this woman's she's trying to like come off as very woke, but doesn't it seem like it's anti-feminist also
I
to
mean,
just
yeah.
all you think about this woman is that she's fat? Like that's your whole define because she didn't say like, oh, I like you said, she didn't say like I identify with her because her music is great or this or that. All she's all Adele is to this woman is a fat woman. That's
Yeah.
all she is. You're not
Adele is
identifying with her. You're identifying with just the rolls of fat in her stomach. That's
yeah. See, Adele is literally not like, to this woman, she's not a performer or an artist. To this like person who wrote this article, Adele is basically just a shape that she can
yeah.
fit into nice and easily and say, yeah, this is me. This is my shape. And
She
it's just
doesn't even
like,
have value as a person other than to serve her ego. Like
here,
that's all it is.
let me read a little more because
Yeah.
she goes back when Adele one would arrive at award ceremonies as a size 14 or 16, wearing a beautiful beaded gown and industrial quantities of eyeliner. I felt a kinship with her. Like that's kind of weird. Like you felt a kinship with like somebody with way too much makeup on appearing on an
Yeah.
award show where she's making millions of dollars. Like, what
Yeah,
kinship do you
exactly.
have with this person? Like this person's raking in zillions of dollars and you feel a kinship with her just because the rolls on your back look similar to the ones on her fucking sideways. Like,
Rebecca, you have nothing in common with this woman. You have no kinship with her. You
yeah.
have as much kinship as I do with like Leonardo DiCaprio. Like that would be like me saying, like, I feel like I relate to him a lot. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly. Like this is like me saying I have a kinship with Tom Cruise because he has black hair.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I feel like I
somewhat
have kinship
similar.
with Tom, like especially the sort of gay stuff he does. I feel a kinship
Yeah.
with him.
All the Scientology shit. Dude, it's like this woman does not give a fuck about you. First off, you don't even know her. She could be like a total asshole too. And if you found that out, you'd be like, but you're a fat woman. You are supposed to be cool and like me. But like, dude, you don't know her. Like, what are you talking?
I mean,
It
clearly
sounds
she
like,
didn't. Clearly, she didn't value being fat enough to stay fat because she lost the weight.
yeah,
Like she,
she
I
doesn't
mean,
care about you.
let me
She
go.
made
Let
you
me
feel
read
like
her on.
shit.
Let me
Yeah.
read on because she goes on to say, I felt a kinship with her. She looked lovely in the same way that I can look lovely. If someone spends a lot of time doing my hair and makeup, and I wear a heist bodysuit underneath a well-cut dress, what the hell
And
is a heist bodysuit?
well, we googled it. A heist bodysuit. It's basically essentially looks like a one top bathing suit, and it's just like, who the fuck wears that under clothes?
Yeah,
That
right.
sounds really uncomfortable.
You're basically saying I identified with Adele because both she and I looked really well if we wore a middle schooler's wrestling uniform underneath our dress. Like,
I guarantee you, Adele does not wear that ever. Like, she's
right? Adele would probably read this article and be like, what the fuck does this bitch think I ever wore that shit? I didn't wear that
yeah.
shit.
She'd be like, we would never hang out, even if I wasn't like a millionaire. I'm like, I don't hang out with people that wear heist bodysuits. I don't hang out with people that wear heist bodysuits.
Yeah,
Like
like
that's a new rule.
if I was trying to bang some girl and like I was undressing her and like we were getting into it and I noticed a heist bodysuit underneath her dress, I might honestly just call an Uber and go home. Like I'm not fucking
Be like,
trying to hang out with this insane sociopath who wears a bodysuit under their dress.
that should be like on her Tinder profile, no bodysuits underneath.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna put like in my description like bodysuits are a deal breaker.
Yeah, anything else is fine. You can murder children, but no heist bodysuits. That's my only requirement.
See, and this next paragraph really pisses me off because she goes, this is a little down the article. She goes, every single time someone marvels at Adele's body, it reinforces the message that bodies look better when they are smaller, that people are worth more when they are smaller, a particularly hard message to receive at a time when so many of us have gained weight in lockdown. Come on. Like I'm sick of this,
Bullshit.
the lockdown. I'm sick of this whole, the lockdown is making me turn fat. It's like, no, okay? The lockdown is making you stay home. The lockdown is not forcing you to sit and watch Tiger King for 6 hours straight while eating ice cream directly out of a tub. Like,
Dude, the lockdown, since you have less time at work, you could spend the whole time exercising. What are you talking about?
yeah.
You can you could do the exact opposite and be like, well, I have all this free time. I'm going to get like in really good shape.
Yeah,
It's not
right. Like
doing
people think like, oh, since a gym doesn't exist, there's just no possible way to lose weight. It's like, have you ever thought of walking? Like walk, fucking
Dude,
walk around.
it doesn't cost any money, and all the scientists are actually saying that obese people are more likely to die of COVID than skinny people.
But you can't
Because
use
of the
that
health.
word anymore, Jack. That word you just used, it's a hate
The
word
O
now.
word.
The O
The O
word,
word.
yeah. The O word.
Shit, what
It's
do we call them?
It's the N word for fat people. You have to call them heavily challenged individuals.
Heavy body
Heavily challenged. Here's the thing. Before I go any further, I just want to say quick. I'm not trying to shit on fat people. Like I'm not even saying that fat people can't be beautiful. I think fat women are very beautiful. Like whether they're like very fat or just like kind of like I think fat women are gorgeous and attractive. It's that's not the point. We're not trying to say if you're fat, you're just disgusting and accept it. We're just trying to say that, like, in this particular article and in the case of Adele in general, people need to learn to stop seeking for like celebrity validation just to feel
Yeah.
like they're acceptable in society. Like just because there's not that many fat celebrities doesn't mean that like people just hate fat. Like it's just not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
People like fat people, but also, I mean, yeah, no, you shouldn't seek validation, but you should also like not give a shit
It's
what
like
people think about you.
if there's not enough famous people that look exactly the way I look, I can't be happy.
Yeah, like that's such a selfish desire to have. You should also just not give a shit like if somebody's like, "You know what? I don't want to fuck you because you're fat and gross." Be like, "You know what? Whatever. I don't need your validation." Fat women sometimes are really good in bed because
Mhm.
they have to work harder than skinny. You ever have sex
Yeah,
with like a
deep.
really skinny girl and she's just like it's like a dead fish. You feel like you're just fucking a corpse. I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes I turn down and I actually am fucking a corpse. I'm like, oh shit, I
Can
gotta
I
leave the
say one
cemetery.
thing about skinny girls, all of you? You guys need to work on your blowjobs, man, because I've
Yes.
had blowjobs from overweight girls. Oh my god, they're amazing. I have never once felt like the teeth of an overweight girl on my cock. However, you skinny bitches don't seem to understand that the application of a tooth onto penis flesh is not pleasurable to me. It doesn't
Yeah.
make me feel hard. In fact, it makes me feel pain. I don't know if it's because you don't have enough space in your mouth, but just work on it, skinny girls. Just work on
Skinny women suck dick like they're chewing corn on the cob, whereas fat girls, you can
it.
tell they eat a lot of popsicle sticks and other like fat foods and hot dogs and shit. So you know they have like a lot of practice with.
Yeah. Like let me
Um,
here, like, let me just close this article. This I will give Rebecca
oh,
credit. Rebecca's the name of the writer of this article. I'll give her credit because I'm sure it took like I'm sure she was nervous writing this article. I'm sure she's been getting a lot of hate, and I'm not trying to hate her. I just think that her message
yeah,
is very much misinformed. Like she goes, she goes, there are plenty of people online who claim we should say nothing about Adele's body, that her weight is none of our business. And while I think that sentiment is admirable, it's just not realistic. As mid-sized women have so little representation in the public eye, Adele's body is fraught political ground.
what are you talking about?
Like how
That means
twisted is
like
that?
that's saying she has no. That you're basically saying Adele has no control over what she wants to do with her body. That's like isn't that the whole thing is, my body, my choice, and you're basically
Mm.
saying, no, her body is fraught political ground. You're not even saying Adele is, you're just, all she is a fucking body to you. It's such a weird, I
Like
feel bad for this lady.
Epstein has said the same type of thing to some of his victims. Like, listen, like I get it. You want to go home, you want to see your family, but you got to understand, your body is fraught political ground now. Like it's definitely in the said like by abuser. It's such a weird thing to say. Like, could you imagine if you were like a famous person and you told your agent, you're like, you know what, like I have a role coming up. I think I'm gonna get really jacked for it. And he was like, oh, well, you want to be careful about that. Your body's political ground, buddy. It's like,
Yeah,
wait, what? What do you mean?
your body,
I can't just do with what I want with my body. It's like, no, because if you do what you want with your body, some really sad virgins who still live with their parents might not feel identity with you anymore.
yeah, you need to please a bunch of losers that have no, like validation in their life. Like it's all about yeah. Your body is political ground. Trump and Biden are going to be debating over your body and what you should do with it. Like,
Yeah, right.
dude, it's fucking
Trump's like,
stupid.
I think that fat bitch needs to just get out of here. She's an eyesore. And Joe Biden's like, well, now I disagree. I think the fat women serve a purpose in our society. Like, especially when I'm trying to kiss their necks. They have these very wide necks, a lot of lip space.
It's a lot easier for me to give them
A
an
lot
old
easier
kiss
for
on the
me to
leg.
smell their hair.
Honestly, the the woman who accused Joe Biden of the sexual harassment, which we'll get onto another fucking time because we're not going to even dive into that now.
No, yeah.
But she's like a hefty woman. Have you seen her? She's like a big lady.
Yeah,
You know,
maybe there's a correlation.
maybe Biden likes the fatties. I don't know. But
Maybe stop.
we'll talk about that some other time because I don't even
Yeah.
believe that whole thing. But
But
back to the article though. I feel like this lady Rebecca Reed. I feel like this whole article should have been a diary entry and not.
Yeah, literally, like, dear diary, how the new photo of a slimmer Adele makes women like me feel uncomfortable. That makes so much more sense. Like, it should have just been a diary entry. Instead, it's
Yeah,
literally a fucking page on the Telegraph. Like, she
you're
has
just
a there's
venting out your feelings.
she
That's
has
all
one
it
line
is.
where she goes, Adele has every right to do what she likes with her body, but she's a global megastar. And that means what she does with her body has a knock-on effect for the rest of us. It's like, first of all, way to contradict yourself in 2 sentences. It's like, Adele has every right to do with her body, but everything she does with her body affects my life. So really she doesn't.
It's such a passive aggressive way. Be like, you can lose weight if you want. If you want to be like a total asshole and make me feel like shit,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah,
If
I
you want
mean,
to be a piece of shit and lose weight, it's up to you. But it's your choice. You can do what you want.
your
Like,
choice to
okay,
do what you want with your body, but if you want to be a cunt, I guess you can lose the weight.
you want
I'm
to be an
not saying
absolute
you can't
fucking
choose. I'm not saying you have no choice. Go ahead and choose to what to do with your body. All I'm saying is, I mean, if you want to be a giant worthless cunt and lose the weight, you can. I'm just saying.
that's all your choice. I think this lady is like what's the opposite of fat? She's like skinny shaming Adele. She's like
Yeah,
trying to make
right.
her feel shitty for losing weight. Why do you care what somebody else does? It doesn't affect your life in any way. It's
I'm just
just such a weird.
I just have to wonder how, like, I get it. Like, women have been taught to view their weight as very important, but it's like you're an individual person. You have to have your own values. Like, if
Yeah.
you really are getting so bent out of shape out of the way society views your body type, like you're never gonna be happy. Like,
Oh
and I
yeah, you're
get
so
it.
fragile.
Yeah, you want to feel like your body is normal and everything, but it's just like at the end of the day, like if you can't view yourself as beautiful regardless of what other people see, then you're just going to be miserable your whole life and you're probably going to wind up sucking a lot of dick. I'm just saying, like it just
And you'll
is,
be good at it because you're
yeah.
fat. But also, like, take this woman for
You'll
instance.
be good at it. Yeah, you'll be pretty good at it.
Well, this woman, for instance, Rebecca, like, take her for instance. She's a writer for like a pretty major news outlet in England. Like, right now, you're way ahead of the game. You're doing better than so many other fucking people. You
Yeah,
don't need Adele's valid. Why do you care what fucking celebrity? You just be like, you know what, fuck her. I don't need her. I can go out. If you're a woman,
seriously.
unless you literally look like Jabba the Hutt, you can go out to any bar and just say like, "Hey, does anybody want to fuck me?" And I guarantee you will at least get two different guys like, "Oh, I'll fuck
A
you."
hundred percent. And I think what you said before is very true. It's like I think about like I guarantee there's more celebrities that look like me than look like the writer of this article. Meanwhile, I'm the jobless one who's still living at home smoking weed on the daily, addicted to jacking off. So who's really worse off here? Like the
Yeah,
person
you
who
got
has
a lot
no,
going on for you.
like, are you really worse off than me just because you don't have a mid-sized like role model in the mainstream music industry anymore? It's like fuck you, you fat home.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
exactly.
I don't want to be that mean, but
I look like Sean Penn when he was younger, but I'm a fucking loser too. Like, you're
yeah,
doing all right, Rebecca.
yeah,
Stop being a fat bitch and get over it.
exactly. Don't be so hard on yourself, you fat cunt. Don't be so hard on yourself, you fucking disgusting hog of a
Slob
man,
of a fucking person.
fucking
This is,
pig of a human. No, all right, all right, all right, all right.
you know what the point is though, is that because we're actually, I think that you shouldn't. I disagree with the idea that when she's like, you should never comment on whether a person loses weight. It's like when somebody loses weight and they work really hard, I get like 100% of the time they like it when you say, "Hey, you lost some weight, you look good." People are not gonna be like, "Oh my god, how dare you?"
Of
You know,
course.
blah- they they like that shit.
But I think
You
this
know.
woman I think this author has a problem with that too, because she actually says at one point, like, she goes like, it's not the weight loss itself either. It's the reaction to her weight loss. Thanks to this new set of photos, I will spend the coming days hearing people talking about how amazing Adele looks with a heavy subtext of she looks better now that she's thin. Like she has a problem with the fact that people can lose weight. Like she goes, I
Yeah.
envy the ability to transform. I envy the joy of having a teeny tiny body. But it's like you
You
could
can.
lose the weight. Like
Yeah, it's not like
you
an
based on
impossible thing.
based on what you're writing, it's not like you have a physiological medical problem that prevents you from
Yeah.
losing weight. So it's not like Adele has achieved some amazing ability that you could never get. Like you could also lose the weight if it's really that big of a problem with to you. Like
And
I
also
hate to use the just get on the treadmill bitch argument, but just get on the treadmill, bitch.
well, also, I mean, we looked at a photo of this author, and she's like fat, but we know people that are much fatter than her. She's not like, she's not like 500 pounds. Like it's not impossible. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, I don't get it because I'm not a fat person, but I get it. It's got to be really, really tough. But I mean,
Personally
like,
just think it's like, do you like, if you view yourself as beautiful, if you view your body type as beautiful, you shouldn't be upset about
yeah,
losing any weight or about anyone else losing weight. If you are, that means you personally have a problem with your body type. And if you personally have a problem with your own body type, like that is, it sucks, but it's kind of your responsibility to deal with that. Like everyone else would be totally fine if you were just walked out of the room and said, you know what, I'm slightly overweight and I think it's gorgeous. We'd all be like, hell yeah. But like, no,
good
like
for you. Yeah.
you're like shitting on Adele because she decided that maybe that fucking 30-pound baby that was clinging to her back could be shaved off a little. And like, you're
Yeah.
like,
And it made
I don't
you
know.
realize that there's something missing in your life. All of this is you're taking your insecurities out on a celebrity that you've
Yeah.
never met and will never meet. And the bottom line is you should never fat shame or skinny shame anyone except for Godzilla.
Yes,
Like
I was just about to bring this up. Yeah, because it's like I agree that fat shaming people, like I agree that shaming people for anything that is difficult for them is wrong. Like you shouldn't shame people just because they're overweight, and the same reason you shouldn't shame somebody because they have a shitty haircut or whatever. But now we have articles written, and this is an article that Jack sent to me,
this is a
and
real article, by the
this is
way.
real. This is also not satire. This one is almost harder to believe, and we'll just spend the
It was
next 10. We'll just spend like a quick 10 minutes talking about this.
it
But
was written by an actual human being.
yes, this is written by a real person. This is not satire. This is legitimate. The title of this article: "It's not okay to fat shame anyone, not even Godzilla."
It's written by a guy named Nico Lang of the Daily Dot, which I've heard of, by the way. That's like an outlet I've heard of. It's not like some fringe thing. This is like
Yeah.
a major publication.
Like, it's just the thought that, like, Godzilla's being fat shamed. Like, I'm trying to imagine Godzilla just, like, rocking back and forth naked in a shower crying, like, "Why don't they like my body?"
Godzilla goes in to stomp over Tokyo, and the Japanese are like, it's Godzilla. He's not gonna do anything. He's a fat bitch.
Or it's like, "Oh my god, someone sighted Godzilla down on 52nd Street." It's like, "Oh shit, is he destroying everything?" It's like, "No, actually, it looks like he's what is he getting, liposuction?"
He
It's
can
like
barely stand up, the fat pig. Get
he's
him.
literally like hooked up to a giant tube next to some doctor's office. He's, "You really think this will work, Doc?" It's like, "I don't know, Godzilla. I mean, this is a lot of fat we have to remove from your bloated, distended stomach."
You don't have to eat every skyscraper, fucking fat lizard bitch.
Godzilla's doing the very best he can, okay?
But
Eating
so
has
what?
always been an outlet for Godzilla.
It's always been a struggle.
Whenever Godzilla gets depressed, he goes back to Monster Island and eats one of his children, okay? It's hard.
Mothra would
Like,
definitely
what?
win that fight.
I think I know what he means, though. Like, here's what I'll say, because
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of Godzilla. Okay, I've seen
Oh
all
yeah,
the
me too.
movies. I love Godzilla. Like I loved the new movies when they came out. But I did
Same.
know, like I did notice, and I kind of agreed. Like a lot of people were complaining that Godzilla was too fat. They were like, "Why did they make him so fat? Like, why is he so fat?" And like people were saying that it's tough to take it seriously. And the writer of this article is saying, like, well, that's clearly like evidence that fat shaming is like is prevalent today because people can't even take a giant monster seriously if he's fat. It's like it's not it's not like it's not like we're laughing at Godzilla because he's fat and we're not attracted to him. We're laughing
Yeah,
because he doesn't make it. It literally looks like that if he took one step onto Tokyo, his entire side would explode.
he was
Like
wheezing.
He looks like he's physically impossible to exist. That's what's funny about it. It's not the fatness. It's like the fact that, dude, like a creature like this couldn't even stand. Why would you make him like this?
Also, the thing that's insanely retarded about this article, which is like the most obvious point in the world too, but it's just the fact that Godzilla, this might be a surprise to some of you, doesn't exist. He's not a real thing. So you can fat shame him all you want because it doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna be like, hey man, that's not cool. How dare you fat shame this fictionalized lizard monster? I really identify with Godzilla, and you made me feel bad about myself. I too
Yeah,
want
that's
to
the
stop
best. Like,
now.
that's the best that this guy's like, I'm upset because there's not enough giant monsters that I can identify with who don't get shamed in movies. It's
Every
like,
time I
it's
walk
like
down the streets and blow fire from my mouth to blowing down buildings, like,
it's like, how come all the Pacific Rim monsters were all ribbed up with abs and Godzilla has to be a tubby mess? Like, I just don't get, like, this is so, like, here's a quote from this article. He goes, author and fat acceptance activist Marilyn Wan once argued that you can't tell much about someone from the size of their waist, but you can tell a lot about society by how we respond to it. The case of Godzilla shows just how far our fat phobia epidemic has progressed. As in 2014, not even giant mutated lizards are allowed to be anything less than svelte.
come on. When I read this, I was like, come on, this can't be.
Yeah.
This has got to be a joke, but it's
I mean,
a real thing.
I don't think anybody disliked the new Godzilla movie because he was fat. It was just kind of funny. People were like, yeah, like he's fat. It's weird. But I still thought the movie was good. It's not like anybody walked out of the theater. It's not like anybody walked out of the theater going, can you believe these fat fucking lizards they're making me watch? It's like nobody's doing that. Like we still think Godzilla's badass. So what are you arguing?
When Paul Rubens is in the movie theater masturbating to fucking Godzilla, he wants a skinny Godzilla.
Yeah, Paul Rubens like, I don't like that much weight on my giant lizards while I'm jerking off. In the
it makes it hard for me to jack off into this bag of popcorn.
Paul Rubens like, I preferred the thinner lesbian monsters that he was fighting. That's more my taste.
It's much hotter.
It's like seeing Paul Rubin in the theater jerking off to Godzilla. He's like, like it explodes.
The magic word.
Oh, cherry.
But the thing about this article too that it brings up the point of it brings up how like back in the day, like back 15 years ago, you guys probably remember there was so much talk about the obesity epidemic in the United States and how like Americans were just so fat, and it was like a huge national problem for like a while. And every single week there was just a new article about how fat people are and just how and like that movie Super Size Me came out, and everything was just about how Americans were fat. And it just seems like it's just gone so far in the opposite direction. It's kind of it's bizarre to me personally.
It's a little disturbing. Like this was seen as a massive public health issue for so long, and now in literally less than 3 years ago, it's just like, oh, not only is it not a health issue, but if you say anything about it, you're a dick.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Michelle Obama was getting criticized because her whole thing was like wanting to be healthy and eat vegetables, and people were like, how dare you encourage kids to eat vegetables.
It's like Michelle Obama's not saying that you're ugly because you're fat. She's saying she doesn't want you to die of cardiovascular disease, you fucking idiot. Like, she's saying, hey, I would prefer if less people could have heart attacks in their 30s. And everyone's like, how dare you, Michelle Obama?
Yeah, exactly. And also the fact is the matter is that you are most of the time, and I know there are fat people that are actually can be in good health because like they can work out, whatever, and there are skinny people who are in shitty health. But most of the time, if you're obese, you are unhealthy. That's scientifically a fact. You can't be obese and also be healthy. That's a contradiction. I get it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like, sorry to cut you off, but it's like we're not saying that the way to like deal with this is like if you're fat, just like lose the weight and deal with it. It's not Like, we're not saying that you should shame people into being thin. It's just like the idea that like it's not a public health issue in some sense is very dangerous to society. And like I
Oh
just
yeah.
think of like this last thing I'll read from this article is like he goes like fat shaming Godzilla might seem like a non-issue to some. It's just a movie after all, but it shows just how ridiculous our fat phobia is, a stigma that has real life implications for Godzilla's human counterparts. First of all,
You compare fat
Godzilla doesn't have human counterparts. He kills human beings. Like
If anything, that's more mean to fat people because you're comparing them to Godzilla. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't like that if they were like, you're a lot like Godzilla. They'd be like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why would you say that?
And second of all, it's just like it's not like a testament to our fat phobia because some of us were unhappy with the design of our favorite giant monster. Like it's not like I mean, come on. Like, is it too much to ask for a Godzilla that has some pecs? I'm just saying.
Nobody would think that. This guy's a tool.
Yeah.
The Rebecca Reed person I genuinely feel sorry for. This guy's just a douche.
Yeah, this
I
guy's
looked at
just
his
an
face,
idiot.
too.
The
His name is Nico Lang, and he can go fuck himself in the mouth.
I mean, you showed me a picture of this guy. He looks like the type of dude who literally can fuck himself in the mouth.
He's got that stupid hipster haircut. Fuck him.
Good for you, Nico. But the last thing he says, and this is what really made me just discredit the article. He goes, when Godzilla debuted in 1954, being crushed by a giant Japanese monster was the biggest thing we had to be worried about. But 60 years later, the monster is us.
Ugh, what
it's
a
like,
fucking... Yeah, what a cliche
wow.
Charlie over it. What a fucking... Ugh.
Like, when he wrote that, he like imagined an applause in his head. Like he was imagining a giant crowd, just like yes, like standing up, like yes.
He was picturing a mic. That was his mic drop moment. Like you know what I mean? That was just what an asshole. Fuck this guy. I hate him.
Yeah.
If you see Nico Lang in public, punch him in the face.
We don't want to encourage violence on the podcast, but.
That's true, except for this guy. You could punch except for Nico Lang, go fuck himself.
Yeah. All right. I think we should wrap this up though. But I think the moral of this episode is we're not saying that it's bad to be fat, and we're not saying that fat shaming is okay. We're just trying to say that if you can only value yourself as a person because there's celebrities that look like you, or because giant monsters reflect your body type, you have a serious problem. That's all we're saying.
Yeah. And also don't compare fat people to Godzilla. That's just bad. That's just not a good way to go about doing things. And writers on these websites, dude, step up your game, man. This shit's fucking weak.
Like you're one of the only people who are able to work at home right now. Like at least make it worth it to be working.
Yeah. Dude, be better, all right? Yeah. Do better. And yeah, all right. So next week, same bat time, same bat channel, folks. Yep. Tom, any last words?
Any last words? You know what? I like my kaiju with curves. How about that?
Yes. And fat ladies, some ladies are thick and they are sexy.
Yes.
And happy Mother's Day, everyone. And we'll see you next week.
Hell yeah, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Podcast Orange signing off.